Hello friends, how are things going on? Are you happy with the way I am explaining the two paradigms, culturalism and structuralism, written by Stuart? Are you happy? Yes? Are you following me? Okay, let's see, let's move on. Yes. So we have seen so far, first the significant breaks, second the refounding of cultural studies, and then the third we saw the two definitions given by, first of course introduction, isn't it? First was the introduction, second was significant break, and third was refounding of cultural studies, and fourth two definitions by Williams, that is all available descriptions, means all ideas and all practices, isn't it? And then we saw also, connected to that, we also saw how he criticized so that was actually a criticism directed against one Levicism. Levicism means considering culture as high, only high culture, exclusive. And the next one is Marxist, based on superstructure. Marxists say that only modes of production can determine the way of living or the ways of living of a people, that is culture. We have already done all these things. Then we saw three revisions made by Williams. What are the three revisions? One is by Lucien Goldman, then structuralism, second is E.P. Thompson, and third is Antonio Gramsci. Isn't it? Then we saw, our fifth lecture was the dichotomies and homologies. Yes, homology means similarity. Dichotomy means opposition. Di means two, isn't it? Tomy means cut, that is Greek. Tomy. And you say di means two. Tomy. That is when we are going to know vasectomy. Vasectomy, listen, cutting. Hysterectomy. Hysterectomy. Hysterectomy means removing, cutting and removing your what is called the womb of a woman. This. So that is hysterectomy, vasectomy is cut. So dichotomy. Dichotomy means what? Cutting into two. That is what? Your opinions or views are cut into two. That means, what does that mean? Cut into two. Opposing. That is. So similarities and dissimilarities. Similarities and dissimilarities in who? In Williams and Thompson, isn't it? This is lecture 6. Correct? Am I correct? Yes. First we have introduction. Okay. Second, significant break. Third, foundations, refounding. Fourth, definitions. Fifth, dichotomies and homologies. And sixth is the dominant paradigm or culturalism. So when he said this line of thinking is considered as a significant, very significant, and it is the significant line of thinking, so to say, in cultural studies, and it is considered as a dominant paradigm. Now, as we have seen, when you go through right from introduction to the present moment in our study of analysis of culturalism, we can see 3 or 4 main points. Then when you put them together, a kind of revision, that will be the answer to this problem of culturalism. What is that? First, we can see culturalists. Culture is a whole way, including everything, means ideas, practices, nothing is residual, that's the thing. Nothing is residual. Nothing is residual, and culture is not merely reflective. That's not philosophical, what is called thinking or reflections that one makes culture. So totality is a social totality. Social totality. This is very important. Totality. That's why these culturalists are against Levicism. Because Levicism considers culture as only high culture. This is another reason why the culturalists criticize BS, means architectural metaphor, that base and superstructure. But this is only partial. Understand? So social totalizing is the thing. It's a totalizing movement. Nothing is left out. A totalizing movement. So that is the first thing to note. Totalizing. Totalizing movement. No residual, no reflective, not mere ideas, not mere modes of production. Understand? Okay. Then second point notice. All the historical transformations have been, so to say, caused by culture. That's the thing. So men and women, this is the second thing. Make history by through their culture. Through their culture. That's the thing. Your meaning, your identity, changes in society, transformations in society. Everything takes place because of culture. Understand that? So culture is threaded through all our experience. That's what threaded to all our practices. Threaded. Culture is threaded. Yesterday I gave you the example of Garland, threaded. Okay. Now the third point is culture happens. For Williams it is evolutionary, but most culturalists it is interaction between social being, that is individual, and social consciousness. Social consciousness or conditions. Social conditions. Let's think about one or two examples, then it will become very easy. Now think of the French Revolution. There's a conflict between social being and social consciousness or conditions. What are the conditions existing those days? Remember? Exploitation. Downright blatant exploitation by higher classes. The aristocracy, then the priesthood, isn't it? The aristocracy, the religious leaders, and the government. Everywhere you find this extreme form of exploitation. What is the result? The result is social being enters into conflict, and then a new culture. What is that new culture? Equality, fraternity, and liberty. That's the new culture. Did you see that? And here is the reason why Williams says there is in culture there is always a creative movement, and this is the point where we say the human agency, the role of the human agency in culturalism. Human agency. This human agency idea is important because when we come to structuralism, you will find there is no human agency. They don't agree to that. So this is where the human agency comes in. Culture happens because of the humans. Understand? All their activity. Now another example I will give you. Simple example. Lord Buddha. Think of Lord Buddha. The social being. When he came into contact with social conditions, like for example, he is a sick man, an old man, a dead man being carried to his the funeral procession, so to say. Something happens in him. So there is a conflict. He enters into a conflict with the existing social condition. He comes out. And what is the result? Buddhism, a new culture. Understand? So any social transformation or any historical transformation, anything that can be caused only by culture. And culture happens because of human agency or human beings. There are all the common practices, common meanings, common ideas, everything. The commonality, we can say. In all this you will find. Understand that? Nothing is left out, nothing residual, nothing reflective. Did you get that point? Yes. Now the human agency. Now, fifth point is most important. Culture is lived and experienced. Lived and experienced. Without experience, there can be no culture. Isn't it? And here is, William says that all the culturalists say, all the practice, in experience, all the practices intersect, and there is radical interactionism between elements of culture. All the practices intersect and interact. I'll give you an example. Then it becomes very easy. So what is the last fifth point? I think you can keep it in your mind. We are coming to the end of what culturalism is, isn't it? Culturalism is totality, human agency, social being and social conditions. It includes everything, nothing is left out, nothing is called residual or nothing is called reflective. Finally we come to the conclusion that all elements, what happens is everything interacts and intersects. All practices intersect and all elements interact. These are the two keywords. Intersect. Now let's see. Suppose this is Christmas. Okay. This is a cultural practice. And these are also the idea and practices. Now what are the elements in this? All the elements intersect in living and in experiencing. That is the point. Lived and experienced. What are the elements here? Gift giving. That's one. Gift giving. Visiting people is another one. Religious, spiritual or religious activities. Then special lunch, special eating. Okay, you can say special eating. Then what else? Visiting, religious, etc. And then what else? Cakes. That's another very important. Then you go for sometimes in the afternoon. What do you go sometimes in Christmas? You go for playing games, yes, games, etc. Games or visiting, say, seaside activity and so on. Entertainment, entertainment. Getting boost. Not all the people, but some people. Some people get boost that, yes, drinking, yeah. Then what else you have got in Christmas? Charity, yes. There is also an aspect of charity. So these are different because when that's on Christmas Day, your stomach is full and you are sitting and somebody, please give something, then you will give something at that day because we are in a mood, so charity. Now these are elements of Christmas. Now in culture, in lived and experienced culture, this is culture, it's Christmas. Different elements intersect. Intersect means what? So here is a line, intersecting, you can say, isn't it? So here Christmas. Now we are visiting, okay, take one, gift. In gift what happens? You go from place to place. Yes. Then let's see like this. You have a gift and this cake. They are intimately connected. Gift and cake. You give gift. Cake is the gift you give. Then what happens? You visit your relatives. Right? For giving cake, what do? You visit your relatives. So at this juncture, there is intersection. Intersection between gift giving and then visiting. Right? Then, in Christmas, what do? You have special lunch. So, it goes here. Look at this. This and this special lunch intersect here. Did you see? And then charity, of course. Charity and religion. See, it intersects here. Isn't it? It's connected. Then, entertainment and what else? Yes, entertainment and visiting. Again, see that. You go to your friend's house, or then there will be a lot of entertainment, dancing, singing, and so special dance, etc. So this is what is meant by saying all the elements in a, when you live it, when you live a culture, and the lived experience, and then this becomes the structure of feeling of that particular group at that particular time. All these things together, different elements. So they intersect. Take any Holi, for example, or Diwali. Any of these you will find there are different elements in that. Or giving a gift to elders. See, when you have different elements, and these different elements, they intersect at one particular point. And then what happens? You derive or you enjoy the structure of feeling of that particular moment in history in your life. So the most important thing in culturalism is lived experience. In lived experience, all the elements of culture intersect. Now let's say how interact. Interacting happens like this. For Christmas, you are preparing for Christmas. Then what will happen? There is trading, commercial. Now, in this time, the time when we are living today, Christmas has nothing to do with religion. It is a huge, a massive commercial exercise. Buying and selling, new clothes, this thing, that thing, gifting. Hardly people now think of the religious aspect of Christmas. It has come to that, we don't know. So that is culture. So then change in culture. When the social being interacts with the social consciousness, this happens. Understand? So there is trading. Okay, there is commercial activities are there. Right? But why do you go for trading? Because you want to give gifts. So gift, or you want to purchase lots of things for you. Or gift. Isn't it? And why do you go for trading again? You want a special lunch. Why do you go on trading? You want getting boost. Not good, it's not good. Alcohol consumption is injurious to health. Now, entertainment. Yeah, there also trading. You want to buy some musical instrument, you want some cassette, you want CDs, you want a pen drive. See, this is how you interact. Understand? Your different elements intersect and they interact with the other things. You want to entertain, you're playing games. So you need to ball, you have to buy ball and visiting, you have a car. See how these things are interacting. Did you understand? So this is the most important part of culturalism. In culture, in lived and experienced culture, all the elements intersect in a cultural, in a form of culture when you are living in this, and they interact with the outside world. When you visit, you get into social contact. Your orbit of friendship increases. Other people are attracted towards you. So guests come there. So a lot of interaction takes place. Understand? So that is what he says. That is what the culturalist says, isn't it? So whenever you find culturalism, the keywords are lived experience. Understand? And totalizing. Why do you say totalizing or essentializing? Culturalism is essentializing because the source of all the culture is praxis, general human activity. From praxis comes practice, individual human activity. Or to put it in a different way, I will say, the source of all your cultural forms or cultural activities is a human energy. So there is a center. From the center comes all these practices, lived culture, experience. So the experiential pull, that is what is it. And the human agency. These are most important points in culturalism. The experiential pull means culture means experienced culture, lived culture. That can happen in many ways. It can be through conflict, it can be through contact, it can be through invasion, it can be through what is called indoctrination, it can be through persuasion. But it is experience. And it is a whole way of life. Nothing can be left out. And it involves human agency. Very, very important. Next, once again I tell you, very, very important. Because when you come to the next ism, you will find that they just don't recognize this human agency at all. Understand? So, this is the dominant paradigm. So we have come halfway through. We have come halfway through in the sense that we have now defined finally what the dominant paradigm is and what is its characteristics. Even if you forget all the points, remember, culture is a whole way of life. Culture is lived and experienced. In culture is caused by human agency, and all the activities come from human energy. Understand? Now I have told you how historical transformations take. All the revolutions you can take, all the way. Independent revolution, always independent, so in struggle. Social being Indians is a reaction or a conflict with the British. See that? Then democracy. Understand? Okay, of course, one aspect of culturalism is culturalism has democratized and socialized the culture. What is democratizing? Made it common, that's all. When you say democratic means common, every man's. Democratic government means every man's government, not monarchy. Monarchy is one man's. So it is socialized, you can say. Democratized and socialized. I think you have been taking down all these points. Senior students, I may not repeat all these things, isn't it? Being very senior students, I need not repeat these things again and again. This will be alright, I think. So with this we come to the end of one section of the essay, one part of the essay, culturalism. And I have gone through just a quick summary of this introduction, the framework. Significant break, that means the break with the Levicism. Levicism said only high culture, but these people say it is everything. Everything is culture. That's the break. And third point is, we saw, in the third lecture we saw refounding. Refounding is done by three authors, that is Williams, Thompson and Hogarth, plus the Marxist, Marxist idea, new left, not exactly Marxist, the movement of the new left, and CCCS, Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies at Birmingham, founded by Hogarth, and finally we also saw Now this is part of your study in all the PG programs or in Indian universities and also abroad. So that we saw. Then the fourth point that we saw is the definitions given by Williams. That is all ideas, all practices. And why did he give these definitions? There are two reasons. One, to reject Levicism. Two, to reject Marxism. Isn't it? And then his revision we saw. Goldman and Antonio Gramsci and Thompson, they all agree that it is a constitutive activity. This is not just one-sided or a few, some things are excluded. No, everything is included in that, isn't it? And that is, and then the fifth one we saw, the dichotomies and the homology, the similarities and dissimilarities. Mainly they agree on all points except two. In Thompson's program, agenda, there is a conflict between culture and not culture. Some things are culture, some things are not culture, isn't it? And but in Williams it is evolutionary. There is absolutely no. It's reflective and evolutionary. He said it just happens. That's what he said. Culture just happens. That is one thing. And secondly, he doesn't give importance to class struggle. Who? Williams. But class struggle and classes, class relationship and the class struggles very prominent in Thompson, because Thompson's title of the book itself is Making of the English Working Classes, isn't it? And the sixth lecture we have seen today, what is especially three things we must know. One is lived and experience. Two, the social totality. And three, democratizing and socializing. Understand? All the other things, intersecting, interacting, etc. You can have plenty of examples. I think that will be alright for you. And if you like, as I say every day, if you like, you should subscribe and tell your friends also to subscribe to my channel. Okay.